The businessman looked into the open casket and laughed. "This is your war hero? Looks like he died for nothing." 20 minutes later, his entire office building was surrounded by 100 roaring motorcycles, and he was sobbing on the ground, begging for forgiveness. It happened at Riverside Memorial Park in Seattle, Washington, on a gray Wednesday morning. Cole Reaper Harrison stood beside his son's casket, his weathered hand resting on the polished wood. Inside lay Tyler James Harrison, 23 years old, Marine Lance Corporal, killed in action in Helmand Province, Afghanistan, 3 weeks ago. Tyler looked peaceful in his dress blues, the medals pinned to his chest catching the pale sunlight. The bronze star with valor, the purple heart, proof that he'd died a hero. The funeral was small, just Cole's motorcycle club brothers from the Iron Brotherhood MC, a few of Tyler's Marine buddies who'd made it home, and some neighbors. Tyler's mother had died from cancer 5 years earlier, so it was just Cole now, alone, standing over the only person he'd ever truly loved. The bikers stood in respectful silence, their leather vests adorned with American flag patches. Many of them were veterans too. They understood loss. They understood sacrifice. They stood like silent sentinels around the gravesite, honoring one of their own. That's when the black Mercedes pulled up to the cemetery. Richard Donovan stepped out, wearing a $3,000 suit and an expression of irritation. Donovan was a commercial real estate developer, worth about $40 million. He owned the small strip mall where Cole worked as a mechanic, and he was there to deliver bad news in the worst possible way. Donovan walked right up to the funeral service without any hesitation. He didn't remove his sunglasses, didn't bow his head, just marched straight to Cole. "Mr. Harrison," Donovan said loudly, interrupting the pastor's prayer. Everyone looked up, shocked. Cole turned slowly. "Sir, we're in the middle of a funeral." "Can this wait?" "No, it can't," Donovan said. "Your rent is 3 months overdue. I've sent you notices, called your phone. You've ignored everything, so I'm here to tell you personally. You have 1 week to vacate the property or I'm filing for eviction." The bikers tensed. Hammer, Cole's closest friend, stepped forward. "Man, are you serious right now?" "This man is burying his son. His financial obligations don't stop because of personal tragedy," Donovan said coldly. "Life goes on. Bills need to be paid." Cole's voice was barely a whisper. "Mr. Donovan, my son died 3 weeks ago. I've been dealing with the military, the funeral arrangements, everything. I have the money. I just need a few more days to—" "You've had 3 months," Donovan interrupted. "I'm not a charity. You're behind. You pay up or you're out." "Please," Cole said, his voice breaking, "just give me until next week. Tyler's death benefits are being processed. The Marine Corps has confirmed everything. I'll have the money. I just need a little more time. Today is my son's funeral. Please show some respect." Donovan looked at the casket for the first time. He actually walked over to it and looked down at Tyler's peaceful face, and then he did something unforgivable. He laughed. "This is your war hero?" Donovan said mockingly. "He looks like a kid." What was he, 12? Cole's fist clenched. He was 23. He served 2 tours. He saved lives. He died protecting his squad. "He died for nothing," Donovan said casually. "You know what I think? I think kids who join the military do it because they're too stupid for college, too lazy for real work. The military is where failures go to pretend they're important." The funeral guests gasped. Tyler's Marine buddies started moving forward, but the biker veterans held them back. They knew Cole needed to handle this. "You need to leave," Cole said quietly, dangerously calm. "Right now." "Or what?" Donovan smirked. "You'll hit me? Go ahead. I'll own everything you have left. Your shop, your motorcycle, everything." He looked back at Tyler's body. "Your son died accomplishing nothing. Probably got himself killed doing something stupid. Poor training, bad judgment. That's what happens when you send trash overseas and give them guns." Cole's hand moved to Tyler's casket, steadying himself. "My son earned a Bronze Star for valor. He pulled 4 Marines out of a burning vehicle under enemy fire. He went back for a 5th man, and that's when the explosion." "Participation trophies," Donovan interrupted. "They give those medals to everyone nowadays." "Doesn't mean anything. Your son was a statistic, one of thousands who die pointlessly in wars that don't matter. And now you're broke, alone, and losing your business because you raised a kid dumb enough to get himself killed. That's when Cole snapped. His fist connected with Donovan's jaw so hard the businessman spun completely around before hitting the ground. Donovan's sunglasses flew off. His lips split open. He lay on the cemetery grass, blood pouring from his mouth. "You broke my jaw!" Donovan screamed. "I'm calling the police. You're going to prison. I'm going to destroy you." Two of Tyler's Marine friends grabbed Cole and pulled him back. "He's not worth it, sir," one of them said. "Don't let him dishonor Tyler's funeral more than he already has." Donovan stood up, wiping blood from his face. "You're finished, Harrison. I'm pressing charges, assault and battery. You'll lose everything. And I'm evicting you tomorrow, not next week. Tomorrow. You'll be homeless by Friday." He stumbled back to his Mercedes and drove away, still screaming threats out the window. The funeral continued, but the damage was done. Cole stood there shaking, tears streaming down his face, knowing he just lost everything in a moment of rage. The bikers surrounded him in support, but they all knew the truth. Donovan had won. After they lowered Tyler into the ground, after the final prayers were said, after the Marines fired the 21-gun salute and handed Cole the folded flag, Hammer pulled him aside. "Brother, we need to talk about what just happened." "I know," Cole said. "I messed up. I let him get to me. Now I'm going to jail and I'll lose the shop and everything Tyler and I worked for." "No," Hammer said firmly. "You defended your son's honor. What that man said was unforgivable, and he's not going to get away with it." "Hammer, what can we do? He's rich, powerful, connected. I'm just a mechanic who punched him at a funeral." "I'm done." Hammer pulled out his phone. "You remember Code Red?" Cole's eyes widened. "No. Hammer, don't. This is my problem. I won't drag the club into—" "Tyler wasn't just your son," Hammer said. "He was our brother too. He grew up around the clubhouse. We taught him to ride. We were at his high school graduation. We celebrated when he became a Marine, and we mourned when he died. When someone disrespects him like that, they disrespect all of us." Hammer sent a single text to the Iron Brotherhood group chat. "Code Red, Riverside Cemetery. Brother needs us." Tyler was disrespected at his own funeral. Within minutes, phones started buzzing all across Seattle. Code Red hadn't been called in 5 years. It meant drop everything. It meant a brother was in crisis. It meant the entire club mobilized. Donovan made it back to his office building in downtown Seattle. His jaw was swelling. His lip was still bleeding. He immediately called his lawyer and the police, filing assault charges against Cole. Then he called his property manager and ordered the immediate eviction of Cole's mechanic shop. "I want him out today," Donovan screamed into the phone. "Change the locks. Throw his tools in the street. I don't care. I want that biker trash destroyed." He was so busy making vengeful phone calls that he didn't hear it at first, the distant rumble, like thunder. But the sky was clear. His secretary knocked on his door. "Mr. Donovan, there's something happening outside." "I'm busy," he snapped. "Sir, you need to see this." Donovan walked to his floor-to-ceiling window on the 15th floor. What he saw made his blood run cold. The street below was filling with motorcycles, dozens of them, pouring in from every direction, Harleys, Indians, Triumphs, all ridden by men and women in leather vests with the Iron Brotherhood patch. They weren't blocking traffic. They were perfectly legal. They just parked in every available spot around his building, on the street, in the parking garage, in nearby lots, and they kept coming. 50 bikes, 70, 90. Donovan's phone rang. It was building security. "Sir, we have a situation. There are approximately 100 motorcycles surrounding the building. They're not doing anything illegal. They're just sitting there, engines running." "Call the police," Donovan shouted. "We did, sir." "Police say they're not breaking any laws. They're parked legally, peacefully assembled. There's nothing the police can do." Downstairs, the bikers sat on their motorcycles in perfect formation. Hammer stood at the front, holding a portable microphone connected to a speaker system. Cole pulled up last, his eyes red from crying. "Hammer, what is this?" "This is brotherhood," Hammer said. "This is what happens when someone disrespects our family." Hammer spoke into the microphone, his voice echoing through the downtown streets. "My name is Frank Wilson. I'm here representing the Iron Brotherhood Motorcycle Club. We're here because of Richard Donovan, who works in this building." Office workers poured out of surrounding buildings. People pulled out phones and started recording. 30 minutes ago, Richard Donovan crashed a Marine's funeral, Hammer continued. He mocked a fallen hero in front of his father. He laughed at a Bronze Star recipient lying in his casket. He called Lance Corporal Tyler James Harrison a failure and said he died for nothing. Gasps rippled through the growing crowd. Tyler Harrison was 23 years old, Hammer said, his voice thick with emotion. He served 2 tours in Afghanistan. He saved 4 Marines from a burning vehicle. He died going back for a 5th. He earned the Bronze Star with valor, the Purple Heart. He was a hero, and Richard Donovan spit on his memory at his own funeral. Someone in the crowd yelled, "That's disgusting!" Another voice, "What kind of monster does that?" Hammer held up his phone, showing a photo of Tyler in his dress blues. This is the young man Richard Donovan mocked. This is the hero he disrespected. And we're here to make sure the world knows what kind of man Richard Donovan really is. The bikers revved their engines in unison. The sound was deafening. Windows shook. Car alarms went off. The entire downtown district heard it. 15 floors up, Donovan was panicking. His phone was exploding with calls. News outlets, his business partners, his wife. Everyone wanted to know why 100 bikers were surrounding his building. Then his computer screen lit up. Someone had created a website, RichardDonovanMockedAhero.com. On it was Tyler's photo, his service record, his medals, and a detailed account of what Donovan had said at the funeral. The website was already going viral. Donovan's social media accounts were being flooded with angry messages. His company's Yelp page was getting destroyed with 1-star reviews. His personal email was crashing from the volume of hate mail. His lawyer called. "Richard, I'm watching the news. There are protesters outside your building. This is a PR nightmare. You need to fix this immediately." "I didn't do anything wrong," Donovan screamed. "That biker assaulted me. I'm the victim here." "You mocked a dead Marine at his funeral," the lawyer said flatly. "On camera. Multiple people recorded it. You're trending on Twitter. #1 hashtag Donovan mocked a hero. You're finished unless you fix this right now." Donovan looked out the window again. More people had joined the bikers. Veterans, military families, regular citizens. The crowd had grown to over 300 people. They weren't violent. They weren't destroying property. They were just standing there holding signs. "Heroes don't deserve your mockery. Tyler Harrison died for your freedom. Shame on Richard Donovan." News vans were pulling up. Reporters were interviewing the bikers. This was becoming a national story. Donovan's phone rang again, his business partner. "Richard, the board just held an emergency meeting. You're being removed as CEO effective immediately. This company can't be associated with someone who disrespects fallen soldiers." "You can't do this," Donovan protested. "We just did." "Clear out your office by end of day. Security will escort you out." Click, another call. His wife. "I'm filing for divorce. I didn't marry a monster. Don't come home." Another call. His country club. "Your membership has been revoked." Another call. His bank. "We're reviewing all your business loans." Donovan collapsed into his chair. In 30 minutes, his entire life was falling apart. Downstairs, Hammer spoke into the microphone again. "We're not here for violence. We're not here to break laws. We're here to make sure Richard Donovan understands that actions have consequences. Disrespect a hero, and the world finds out who you really are." Cole stepped forward, and Hammer handed him the microphone. Cole's voice shook as he spoke. "My name is Cole Harrison. Tyler was my son, my only son. He was everything to me. When that man mocked him today, mocked his sacrifice, mocked his death, I lost control. I hit him. That was wrong. I'll face whatever legal consequences come from that." The crowd murmured in disagreement. Someone yelled, "You did the right thing." Cole continued, "But I want everyone to know who Tyler was. He wasn't perfect. He struggled in school, got into some trouble as a teenager, but he turned his life around. He joined the Marines because he wanted to serve something bigger than himself. He wanted to protect people. He wanted to make his country proud. And he did. He saved lives. He was brave. He was kind. He was my hero." Cole's voice broke. "Tyler died 3 weeks ago. Today was his funeral. And that man laughed at him, called him worthless, said he died for nothing. Well, my son didn't die for nothing. He died protecting his brothers. He died with honor. and I'll spend the rest of my life making sure people remember him as the hero he was." The crowd erupted in applause. Car horns honked in support. People were crying. A woman pushed through the crowd. She was wearing a business suit and looked official. "Mr. Harrison? I'm Jennifer Torres from the Veterans Legal Defense Fund. We heard what happened. We're offering to represent you for free. What Richard Donovan did was despicable, and we'll make sure you don't face charges for defending your son's honor." A man in a military uniform stepped forward. "Sir, I'm Colonel Bradley Matthews, Marine Corps Reserve. I served with your son's unit. Tyler saved my nephew's life in that burning vehicle. I'm here to testify to his character and heroism. Whatever you need." More people came forward. Lawyers, veterans advocates, other Gold Star families who'd lost children in combat. They all surrounded Cole, offering support. Upstairs, Donovan watched it all unfold. He realized he'd made a catastrophic mistake. He'd mocked a hero in front of a community that would never forget or forgive. His secretary knocked again. "Sir, building security says you need to leave. They don't want you here anymore. They're worried about their reputation." Donovan had no choice. He packed a box with his personal items and took the service elevator to avoid the crowd. But when he reached the parking garage, 20 bikers were waiting for him. They didn't touch him, didn't threaten him. They just stood there, silent, watching. As Donovan got into his Mercedes, Hammer approached. "Mr. Donovan, you need to understand something. This isn't over. What you said about Tyler will follow you forever. Every job you apply for, every business deal you try to make, everyone will know what kind of man you are." "I'll sue you," Donovan said weakly. "All of you." "For what? Peaceful assembly? Recording your own words? Good luck with that." Hammer leaned closer. "You destroyed your own life today. We just made sure everyone was watching when you did it." Donovan drove away, his hands shaking on the steering wheel. 3 days later, the assault charges against Cole were dropped. The prosecutor, a Marine veteran himself, said there was insufficient evidence and no public interest in pursuing the case. 1 week later, Donovan's mortgage company approved a 6-month extension on Cole's shop rent, interest-free. They'd been flooded with calls from veterans groups demanding they help Tyler's father. 1 month later, the Iron Brotherhood MC held a fundraiser for Gold Star families. They raised $200,000. Every penny went to families who'd lost children in combat. And in the center of the clubhouse, they hung a large portrait of Tyler James Harrison in his dress blues. Below it, a plaque read, "Lance Corporal Tyler James Harrison, USMC Bronze Star with Valor, Purple Heart, he died protecting his brothers. We live to honor his memory." Cole never washed Tyler's flag that had draped his casket. He folded it carefully and placed it in a case on his workbench, where he could see it every day. And every year on Tyler's birthday, 100 bikers ride to his grave. They stand in formation, they salute, and they remind the world that heroes deserve respect, even when powerful men forget. Richard Donovan lost everything that day: his job, his marriage, his reputation, his wealth. But he learned something valuable. Some men die heroes, and some men die forgotten. But the men who mock heroes, they live with shame forever. That's the price Richard Donovan paid, and 100 bikers made sure he paid it in full.